Alright, welcome back everybody. I have got another little tutorial here today. I'm going to be playing with black and white. Doing a black and white photograph and going to do some try to add some drama to this photo. It was very cloudy, very dark, and very cold and windy, and there's some I feel like things that we can do to this photo to really make it look nice. So this is at a lighthouse in Benton Harbor, Michigan. This is on the Great Lakes, and yeah, so I took this New Year's Eve hanging out up there in Michigan. Now let's just take a look at the photograph here. It's taken at 1/45 of a second, FA, ISO 100, and is at 68 millimeters. Using the Sony A7R. So the one thing I couldn't do is I couldn't do long exposures, which is what I really wanted, because I wanted to soften all these waves up. But no big deal. We can kind of distract from those hard textures of the waves there. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adjust as I normally would. Going to bring down the highlights, bring up the shadows, and I'm going to set my whites and the blacks. I'm going to leave a little bit of, because that was all actually, you know, very dark and black. I might bring that back up just a little bit. So there we go. We got the basic little contrast back. I'm actually going to add a whole bunch of contrast here because I want this photo to be really dramatic and awesome by the time we get done with it. So how am I going to make this black and white, and how am I going to do the adjustments to it after I do so? Well, I have my HSL toolbar here, and I'm going to click on black and white. Bam, there we go. So we already got it in black and white. Now I'm going to go to the sliders here. I'm going to adjust a few things. The sky is not near dramatic enough. With all those clouds, we can really pull some awesome drama out of them. So I'm going to take my blue slider here. I'm going to drag it pretty far down here, and then maybe take the aquas and move them around a little bit too. Gonna pull my yellows and possibly my oranges up just a tad, and that's because I want these this grass to have a little bit of highlight. I say that, I think I pulled it up a little bit too much, and now I've got some weird little artifacting going on there. But yeah, so there we go. We can I'll pull the reds up a little bit, that way you can see the roof line of the, that's going to be the highlight of the photo. I think I need to crop this though, because you see it, I was just trying to frame it out as much as I could with what the positions I could get into, and I almost think it'd be nice to keep this one kind of symmetrical. Maybe pull a little of the sand out of it. And I'm going to need to adjust my horizon. I think that's pretty straight. So there we go. That's not too bad at all. Still a few things I want to do to it. I want to give this a little added drama here, and I've already done this once. I'm gonna go ahead and boost my sharpening up. I'm gonna do, say, like around 85. I'm gonna mask around probably 50. Yeah, maybe a little more. So there we go. Got some sharpening going on. We'll add almost 15 in noise reduction. That just gets rid of any little trails of stuff. Remove chromatic aberrations. So maybe see if it pulled anything out of this the edges of these grass here. Sorry, my computer's lagging behind just a little bit. That's okay. Okay, so believe that's all I'm gonna do on that so far. And then now what I'm gonna do is start working with filters. So I've got my basic retouching done. I'm gonna work with some filters here. We might make some more global adjustments here in a minute, but for the time being, we'll call it good. So now I'm going to add a gradient filter. I'm going to drop the exposure. I'll drop the exposure probably quite a bit. And actually, I think I'm going to pull some of those whites out just a little bit, because I've got this center part in this cloud here that's kind of bugging me. So got that. Let's add some clarity. I think some clarity will look nice just in the clouds. I'm not going to add it overall. So got that. And that's just on a gradient filter, so it's only affecting, you know, on a gradient from the top down. And actually, I might go ahead and just add a little gradient filter down here as well. And we're going to drop the exposure. Just going to close that photo up. Okay, so now I'm going to add some radial filters. I love radial filters because they can act like a little spotlight for whatever you want to be kind of the star of your photograph. So let's take our feather up. We've inverted the mask, and I want to really draw your eye into the center of the frame here. So that's not too bad right there, and I actually kind of like that filter. So I'm going to duplicate it by right clicking, and then I can drag this off down here. We broaden it out a little bit, and maybe I'll throw another one. Actually, that wouldn't be too bad right there, I don't think. Okay, so we can kind of see what we've done here. Just brought out a little extra things to draw your eye in. Now, I also like to use brushes, so that's the other thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to brush just a little bit of light back in here. And actually, I don't really want that close to the edge of the photo there, because I want your eyes to kind of follow back in to the photograph. I don't want to take you away from it. So here's our subject. Want, you know, kind of our lines to all go more towards the lighthouse, and there's actually technically two lighthouses there. So I think that's pretty much all I'm gonna do on this photograph. I mean, pretty simple. We've done some brushing, got everything set up. I'm gonna subtract a little bit of clarity there, and you know, voila, you know, that's pretty good. I might change my cropping just a tiny fraction of a little bit. I really like those clouds, but I think maybe I can, oops. I think maybe I can manage to make this a little more dramatic. You know, get that look there for you. Okay, so you can play around with your composition and your cropping and stuff like that. That's you know, perfectly fine for what I was looking to do. You know, and I can come back to this and make another, you know, redo this photo, and it may look completely different, but that's generally you know, just kind of run by eye. You can also use presets. You can get a kind of a preview of what they're going to look like over here. I use a variety from different places. You can get lots and lots of presets for free, but don't ever just leave a preset. You need to use it to customize it to your to whatever you're doing. So you can kind of see here, got a basic preset that I could have started with, or this one, and you can move around these radial filters and things like that to move them around to where you want them on your photo. So play around with it and find a version that you like and run with it. So there's my little tutorial. I didn't do much tutorialing this time. I just kind of showed you the workflow. So those are all tools you can play around with. I'm kind of like a broken record with these radial filters and stuff, but that's how you do it. That's how you add little specks of interest into your photo, so that way you can make it more dynamic and not just such a flat image. I mean, there's what we started with, which isn't a bad picture by itself, but you can definitely add some interest to it by playing around with your tools that you have available. So anyway, if y'all like what you see here, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel or go to www.jamesrenfrophoto.com. You can also visit my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/renfrophoto. That's RENFRO photo, PHOTO. So we'll talk to you all later, and we'll see you in the next rendition of whatever I happen to capture.